Hello, I'm Stanley Steamer, and I'm pleased to share with you the very first installment of a series I am endeavoring to call Movie Book Movie. In this episode, I will break down and we will explore the first set of 3 adaptations. We have William Peter Blatty's The Exorcist, a book called Freak the Mighty, I didn't bother to look up who wrote it, and Mary Shelley's Frankenstein. As this series will develop and hopefully become more focused, I'm going to begin by making it clear that I endorse reading. That's right, Stanley Steamer endorses reading, but I think a crucial part of that has to do with being able to read. And before you stop me, that's not what I mean. I'm saying like being able to see, to imagine what's on the page, which is why I personally would recommend, I would argue it's actually more important to see the movie version before you read the book. That's it. It's that simple. That's the rule. That's the goal. I swear to Bog, that's the secret. Quick disclaimer for anybody still in school. Guys, you have to read the book too. That's the only way this advice really works. I had a teacher my senior year. She was the coolest. I loved her. But being the studious little bookworm that I am, in my reading group, I was the only group member to have actually read the book start to finish, and so she was trying to gaslight me into thinking I had like written about or talked about the movie version of the ending, like that I hadn't read the book. Girl, my point is, read the fucking book and stand your ground. Anyway, I feel like I've already gotten off topic. The Exorcist. Grew up on it, never had a desire to read it. One day, I'm rewatching with my old man, and I probably noticed the based on the novel by in the credits. Naturally, I asked for the book. A couple days later, I got her in my hands. A couple days after that, done reading. I wrote down one quote, only one quote, because it felt like the most relevant at the time. So like, if you know, you know. Anyway, check out Political Yap number 2, drop in a... No, I'm just kidding. Seriously, great book though. It fleshes out the characters entirely. I mean, it's literally the source material. Like, I'll get into this a little more in the next episode. I digress. It's all about the context. The book is where the idea is born. I can make video after video, going on and on, praising filmmakers and their visions. But you know where a majority of those visions are coming from? It's someone else's ideas. Words on a page, my friend. You want to talk about that sweet new Nolan film everybody's lining up to see? It's words, my guy. The Exorcist. Father Karras. He's a fucking man. And we get to see a lot more of the interactions between our characters playing out. Like Reagan and her mother. The fucking Carl and... what's the other chick's name? The housekeepers. It gives you, at least it's a greater contextual, detailed version, and it makes the story, I would say, that much more rewarding to read. Watching the movie allows you, I'm gonna say you for the sake of YouTuberisticness, but I'm really talking about me, so sue me for being selfish. It allows you to visualize who's doing what, despite notorious petty differences. Talking about you, Mr. King, Mr. Stephen King. To jump back into the director praise that I was just telling myself I wasn't going to do, the best instances, I would say, are those faithful adaptations, where the author is usually consulted, if not the writer of the screenplay. And this makes the film the most consistent with the author's original creative vision. The author, I mean. Don't give a fuck about the director. All this to say that Blatty's Exorcist is faithful, though the film excludes certain details for the sake of entertainment. Anyone bored enough should check out the book. I'd say the parts that are closest to the movie are going to be the easiest to read. Everything else is just juicy commentary, and I cannot stress this enough, context for the narrative.
What you gonna do? Number 1, number 2.
Number 2. This roller coaster of a story I was able to read in a single sitting, and I cried on several separate instances during that single reading. But enough about me. You obviously clicked on this video because you were hoping your old pal Stanley Steamer was gonna hook you up with the breakdown of the plot for some old ass 80s book. So Freak the Mighty takes us on a tender exploration of a friendship between Max and Freak. This is this little guy, and Max is this big, huge, tall, like ogre of a kid. I would compare it, it's comparable to Bridge to Terabithia. In my opinion, Freak encourages Max to abandon his simple ways and begin using that brain of his. Advice I think a lot of people could benefit from these days. But you got your typical boy banter, the back and forth, there's medieval talk, and the way this kid Max is written is so remarkably real. It almost reminds me of Frankenstein because of just how genuine and sympathetic he is to feelings. What's his name in the movie? I don't know the actor's name, I'll put it up. He does a great job of getting that emotional, what am I trying to say? Development. Character development. I don't want to spoil it, but Max learns how to use his noggin by the end of the movie, and with minor changes, I think the movie does a great job recapping the major points of the book. It's worth a good watch or read for like a Bridge to Terabithia-esque, like kids fantasy, like friendship movie. It's a feel good.
And with our competitively priced on-site cosmetic surgery, we can turn that Frankenstein you see in the mirror every morning into a Frankenfine.
Like Dracula, I'm afraid there are too many adaptations to compare this one to, and I haven't even really been doing a good example of that with the last two. There's a movie and then there's a book, but this in particular should be read, I think, because Frank, the monster, is so sweet and sympathetic, and Victor is so ridiculously full of himself. It pisses me off, bro, genuinely. The importance of context, I would say, goes hand in hand with the reliability of your narrator. I have a problem with Victor because I just don't believe the guy. I just don't believe him. He thinks he's God and then goes and abandons his Adam. It's really sad. So Frankenstein is of an old breed of books where the structure is based around like journal entries and retellings of a tale. So I'm not complaining. I actually had to put Dracula on hold because I thought it'd be too boring to get through, and I ended up ditching that for A Clockwork Orange. Big mistake, bro. So Victor tells his tale, the monster tells him the monster's tale, and then Victor recites both of those to this third party. So after filtering both of those stories through this third party, I'm questioning Vic at all times. Like, I don't know if I can side with this guy. I'd argue that Guillermo del Toro, and yes, I'm a Guillermo head, need you ask? I think he came closest to recognizing the inherent paternalistic, the paternalism, the parenthood that comes with Victor's creation of the monster. It's his baby. It's his son. That's my boy. I've abandoned my boy. And again, in the context of the book, Frankenstein was Mary's baby. You can hear the way she feels about motherhood, and considering her miscarriage, her appreciation of the human relationship on just like the most basic level. It doesn't matter what it is, father, son, mother and child, siblings, cousins, husbands and wives, men and their colleagues, their confidants. Frankenstein the monster is all of us. He represents the worst of us, but only to the extent of his appearance on the outside. He explains this himself in the book, that his ways were shaped by his treatment and his exclusion. I think Frank is what we all want to be. We want to be recognized and loved, and we want to be human. Unique in form, maybe, but appreciated for being. Damn, that's some good shit. Okay, well, let's end it here because I felt like that was really cool and inspirational. Hopefully you guys go out and read a little something or put on a new movie, a different flick, just for the fun of it. Every recommendation is an adventure on this channel. Be sure to join me next time on Movie Book Movie when I break down and we expand on 3 more major titles I'm talking Vladimir Nabokov's Lolita, where we got another questionable narrator, Stephen King's demoralizing apt pupil, and with a word from the author himself, we will discuss Anthony Burgess's A Clockwork Orange. Yeah, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Hope you enjoyed.